Wish TV is focused on family and the community and is committed to sharing the stories of those who are making a difference every day. From the All Indiana Podcast Network and Wish TV, this is Behind the Eight Podcast. Your day moves fast. Your news should too. That's why there's a new and improved Wish TV app bringing you more local news, breaking alerts, live streaming, weather forecasts, radar, and Indiana sports all in one place. Customize your news feed to see the stories that matter most to you and get the information you need when you need it. Download the new and improved Wish TV app today on iOS or Android and take News 8 with you everywhere.
Happy New Year to you, 2024 officially here and underway, and so are we on Behind the Eight. I'm Cody Adams, host of Behind the Eight podcast here on the All Indiana Podcast Network. It's an opportunity to introduce you to some of the people that you see on air, some of the people behind the scenes, and really get to know them on a different level that you may not get to know them typically, which is perfect for my first guest of the new year because she is new to us here at Wish TV. She's not new to you probably as viewers. You guys have seen her now for a couple of months. But my partner in crime on All Indiana, she can also be seen at 6 o'clock and 10 o'clock on Wish TV News 8. Miss April Simpson, how are you?
I am great, Cody. How are you?
Oh, just wonderful. You started here in November, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. How are things going so far? Let's start there with the comment.
4 o'clock every day with you is let's see, interesting. No, I love it. I love it. I love everything about this place. I love the community here so far. Everyone has embraced me here. So it's just become a home now.
It's a chance, as I mentioned, to get to know you. So let's the people give them kind of an idea of where you're from originally. You often refer to it as L.A., right?
I am from L.A., Lower Arkansas.
Yeah. Not quite the L.A. that a lot of people
Not Los Angeles. It's Lower Arkansas. Yeah, I'm from a small town called Gurdon, Arkansas.
Say that again?
Gurdon. Okay. Did you try it?
It sounded like somebody sneezed. Gurdon. That's amazing.
No, it's a really small town. If you've never heard of Gurdon, it's like that we have like 2,500 people there. They have the Gurdon Light, which is the light. This is what happened. The Gurdon Light is where people go down there every year. It's a railroad track, but I think they've taken it up now. But you go down there because a man got his head cut off one time.
Oh, my
And
Lanta.
so he's okay, nice. So he's down there looking for his head, so you'll see the light that he has looking for his head. They say it's swamp gas, but I've seen the light twice.
Really?
And I ran.
Do you still have family down there?
My mom still lives there. And then we have Arkadelphia. Go ahead and say something.
No, I know Arkadelphia. I've been through Arkadelphia before.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Yeah. And my dad lives there. My sister, I have two sisters that live there. My brother. And then I have, my other sister lives in Texas. But I left Gurdon and went to University of Arkansas at Fayetteville, where I graduated.
Sure.
And after I left Fayetteville, I went to Monroe, Louisiana, worked there. Then I went to Shreveport, Louisiana, and worked there. Then I went to St. Louis, Missouri, and worked there. And now I am here in Indianapolis.
How about that?
I know.
You ran track and field at Arkansas,
I did.
correct?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
So you were fast.
I was a sprinter.
At one point in time in life.
You know what? First of all, you didn't have to go there with that. Okay.
Listen, we all slow down. It's all right. It's all right.
Yes, I don't want to do that ever again. It was an experience. Yeah.
So what made you want to get started in TV? Like, what was it that led you to this career path?
What's weird is like when I was a kid growing up, I was shy. Like all the way up until high school, like if they would make me get up and speak, I would cry. I don't know why I did that, but like I would always, my mom would go, come on, it's okay. And I would cry. I was so shy. I've always been shy. But I was always very curious and nosy, and I always wanted to know what was going on. And what's crazy is I had cousins that live across the river. Okay, I'm from the country, like I said. And they would call us the Snoop sisters, me and my three sisters, because we were nosy. So, I just got into that. And then, like, my dad, he does a lot in the community down there. And so one time they did a story on him, a local television station. And so they came down, and I saw how everybody was in awe of this woman, the news anchor that came down, news reporter. And they were in awe of her. And I was like, you know what? I want to do that. And then she was doing like a positive story. Yeah. So I wanted to do that. And so I just got into it.
Have you always done, for All Indiana, obviously a very different show from 6 and 10, but have you always done kind of more lifestyle, or did you do hard news at one point in your career and now have come back to it? I mean, what's that been like?
Yeah, I've always, I started out, I was news. When I went to St. Louis, I was I did both because you know we had a 9 o'clock show in St. Louis that's pretty much like the 4 o'clock.
Sure.
And so we did some of all the crazy stuff, but I still did news. I still anchored a hard news story. So I like the mix of that. I got to do crazy stuff and I got to do journalism, which is what my passion was. But I also like to have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talking a little bit personal life now, you have had some trials and tribulations through your life, to say the very least.
Yeah.
One of them being, quite honestly, fighting for your life.
Yeah.
Walk us through that and what that moment was like in your life when that happened and all that. If you know, I know it's not easy, but yeah, you're okay.
No, I'm trying not to cry.
Sorry.
I'm just kidding. No, I'm good. I'm doing that because someone just did a radio interview with me.
Yeah.
And they actually asked me about that. And I was like, oh, God. And it was like right before I came to work. And so I was like, oh, God, I don't want to do this right now. But, you know, people want to know. And what happened was it was like in 2008 or 9, my sight started getting blurry, like really blurry in my left eye. And so I went to the doctor, I went to the eye doctor, and he was like, we don't know what's going on. I think you might want to go to the ER immediately.
Oh, wow.
But the thing is, I didn't go.
And you're in like the throes of your career at this point, right?
This is like the height of my career. This is the height of my career. I'm in my I might have been in my late 20s when all this was going on. And I was in the peak of my career. You're right. And I remember he's like, you need to go to the emergency room. And I was like, I got to go to work tomorrow. I don't have time to go do that. So I didn't go initially. And then the next day I was like, okay, I'm going to go to the ER. So I went, and then they did a lot of MRIs and all these scans. And the doctor was like, you need to take better care of yourself. And I'm a person that had never been sick a day in my life.
Yeah, I mean, you're a D1 athlete.
Never.
Yeah.
And so they were like, you have a brain tumor. And I said, what? And I said, you better call my mom. Okay. I said, yeah, you better call my mom. And like thinking about it's just rough.
Yeah, no, I'm sure. It must have been, if you've ever been around someone or in the throes of anything where you hear that sort of news. But what is crazy, they told me that, and I was just like, okay, well, call my mom. And they told my mom, and then I said, okay, well, can I go to work tomorrow? And they were like, no, we're admitting you tonight. And so what they did was, like, I had swelling on my brain, and so they had to give me all these steroids and stuff, and I had to go through a steroid treatment for a minute just to be able to function, really, because it happened so fast. There's a lot that it felt like a dream. It just felt like I was dreaming all this. So, and what was crazy is like they said we're gonna have surgery, and it was horrible. It was just it wasn't horrible for me because I'm a strong person. Absolutely.
and I've gone through a lot, and I can deal with stuff. But my parents and my siblings, they didn't know how to take it. No one knew how to take it.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't.
No. Because
I can't imagine.
The diagnosis was death, so they didn't know how to take it. They didn't know what was going on. And I'm just like, okay, I can do this. And I went through a procedure prior, the night before I had surgery, I went through a procedure where they were going to try to glue the tumor together and so they could get it all out. It didn't work.
Okay.
It made the tumor mad, is what the doctor told me. So I lost my speech. I lost my. I was paralyzed on one side. Wow. Everything. Yeah, it was horrible. And I remember it was just. I remember that so clearly. And then I remember the next morning because my aunt was there with us, and she had to literally hold my hand so I could sign my signature on stuff because I couldn't write. And so I went through the surgery, 16 hours. It was a long way. I died during the surgery. I coded is what they, it was crazy. I coded but it was a successful surgery. Now, they didn't remove the entire tumor. They removed the tumor, but the bed is still in there.
Okay.
So that's why I have to get MRIs every year just to make sure, if it does come back or anything that we know so we can catch it in time. But yeah, and so I went through that, and I remember when I was wheeled out of surgery, they went to my mom. My mom came up to me. She said, I was in the bed, laying back. I was waking up. She's like, do you know who I am? I said, Oh, yes. I said, yeah, Mom, why wouldn't I know you?
Yeah. I mean, that would have, I can imagine.
It's because I couldn't talk. And so when I started talking, all I see is my mom start crying, of course, and my dad's. My dad, if you ever meet my dad, he's a character. He's a Vietnam vet, and he still wears camouflage every day. Oh my goodness, he likes to hunt too. So yeah, so my dad was in the hallway dancing, and I just was like, oh my goodness, I don't think I understood how big that was.
Yeah.
Because a lot of stuff had happened during the surgery and stuff that I hadn't been aware of until afterwards.
Sure.
And when they told me that, I was like, oh my God, what happened? I'm like, yeah. Because, yeah, it was bad. Yeah.
When you get a diagnosis like that, I haven't known you very long, but I feel like I know you decently enough to kind of assume that your first thought, and you kind of talked about it, not being worried about you, was one of your first thoughts like, wait a second, like, how's this going to affect my career? Right. How's this going to, I got to go to work. I got to, do all these things. Because that's kind of that's how we're programmed in this industry.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was ready to go to work after I found out about it. But then, during the surgery, the tumor was meningioma. It was right behind my eye.
Okay.
It was pushing my optic nerve to the point where it stretched it all the way out.
Oh my gosh.
I lost sight in my left eye. And I still don't have it. I never will because my nerve is just
it doesn't go
destroyed.
back. Yeah.
No, it does not. And so they were trying to save sight in my right eye and my life. So they were able to save it in my right eye, but they couldn't, in my left. So to this day, I learned how to do everything without having sight in that left eye, which I never thought that would be possible, but it happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a lot. It was. I don't like to. When I think about it, I think, oh my God. Because while I was going on steroids, they had me on like this really strong these steroids, really strong. So they deteriorated my bones to where I had to get both of my hips replaced.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and as a runner, like, what the? Come on now!
I've never had problems with my hips. Why? And you're not going to think that a brain tumor is going to work all the way down to your hips. But.
Oh yeah, so I had to get both hips replaced, and then it just like let's see, I lost my sight. Hearing in my left ear, that's pretty much gone, and the smell on one side of my nostril, it took that.
Really?
But I was just, I didn't care because I knew that I lived.
Yeah.
And just making it through that was like, oh my God, I made it through this. And so like it was crazy. And my friend Tim Ezel, he was there through the whole thing, 16-hour surgery. Wow. And if anybody knows Tim, he's the one that called me the Hamburglar.
Okay, yeah. They went viral.
Yeah, exactly. So he was there the whole time, and it was just, it was, to me, it was a blessing that I was able to catch it in time because most people don't.
Sure.
And to catch it and then to get treated and then to come back and do TV.
Yeah, well, and that's where I was going to go next because you spent some time away from TV, obviously. I mean, there's, you need that time, obviously. And I'm sure probably even still need more time if you're being totally honest. But you get this opportunity. What made you say, I'm ready to get back into this. I want to come to Indianapolis. I want to be a part of Circle City Broadcasting. What was that driving force? Well,
I had been kind of doing my own thing. I had a podcast. I had a magazine. I had a Roku channel. I have all that going on. So I was like, you know what? I didn't know if, getting back into TV, if it was possible or if it would be easy enough that I would want to do it. Because I'm like, you know what? It's a lot. It's a lot to have to. Because some days, I would get a headache. If you get a headache, it scares the crap out of you because you never know exactly what kind of headache it is. So
PTSD jumps in really quickly.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's what I had. And so I got an email from Al, the news director, telling me about the position. And I'm like, what's crazy is I had been having dreams that I was at a job, and I kept thinking, like, who are these people? Like, this is, and you know how you ever in a dream and you ask yourself, is this a dream? Yeah. And it's a dream, but I'm like, I know this is a dream. This got to be a dream. And I was like, okay. So I got the email from Al. I was like, okay, let me just see what this is about because I hadn't really tried to get back into local television. So I wasn't sure if that's what I really wanted to do. So I came up for my visit, and I was like, I met everybody. I met you and Phil and everybody. I was like, man, these people are nice. These people are really nice. And I met DeJuan, the owner, and I went home and I prayed about it. And, I just decided, you know what, this is a great opportunity for me to get back into this. Yeah.
I'm very much a believer in, everything happens for a reason. Yeah. And sometimes things that happen, you're like, well, we probably could have done it a different way to get to where we are. But I mean, if your health history doesn't happen, 90% chance you're probably not here in this moment, right? I mean, in reality, you're in St. Louis still, or you're doing something else. You're in your own company, whatever you're going to do.
Right.
But life kind of makes things happen. So, what's that like when you look back on it and think, okay, I fought for my life. I literally died, came back, and here I am. Does it make things day in and day out seem a little less like egregious or annoying?
Yep.
Right?
It does. Yeah. It does, because I say this is divine intervention.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I wasn't really, I didn't know what was going to happen. I knew I was in a place where I was secure with what I was doing, and everything was okay, but I still wanted to be back in local journalism. I still want to be, be a reporter and anchor and everything. I'm like, but how is that going to happen? And I had literally was praying about it, and like, I was dreaming about it. I was literally having dreams about it. And then when Al contacted me, I said, wait a minute now. Hold on. Something ain't right here. What is going on? I said, God, are you trying to tell me something? This is what I need to do. Yeah. And so I prayed on it, and that's what happened. It was like you said, everything happens for a reason. And it was meant to happen. Yeah.
So you come here now, you host the 4 o'clock with me, All Indiana. Yeah. As I mentioned, you anchor with Phil Sanchez at 6 and 10. Mm-hmm. How has that been settling in and getting used to, learning a whole new city, learning new people, and listen, I grew up a Hoosier. I love the state of Indiana, but we are just a very different type of people. It's a very different state from Arkansas, St. Louis, all of that.
Yeah, it's crazy because I think when I first initially started, everyone wanted to compare me to Alexis.
Sure.
The person I replaced. Sure. And because Alexis left, and they were like, she's not this, she's not that. And I'm like, I'm not Alexis, y'all. I have a personality. I've done, like, what we do in the 4, I've done that before. I love, that was like one of my favorite parts of journalism was be able to be able to do that and to be serious with everything I was doing. And it's just, with, I don't know, I have a personality. I love, because you get on my nerves.
I know.
A lot.
I do most people's.
Well, yeah.
Talk to Amber Hankins on Lifestyle Live. I'm sure she feels the same way.
But it's like we connected, we gelled so quick, and it's like, that's something that you don't really see all the time.
It did happen very, very quickly. Mm-hmm. And listen, we all deal with this, right? Like, you're going to get people who like you and don't like you. And,
exactly.
And I get a million Facebook messages a day, voicemails, all kinds of stuff from people who 1 minute will say, hey, I love what you're doing. And the next will say, hey, you're an idiot, get off my TV. And I just go, hey, sorry, like, I'm here until they say no.
I had someone that actually emailed Dwan, the owner of the station, and she doesn't smile it up. Does she like Cody? Does she even, that's what, like, my first couple weeks here. She's not Alexis. I'm like, okay. And then Dwan was like, give her a chance.
Right.
And so the woman actually emailed him back, you were right.
Yeah.
She's smiling. I was like, I gotta get used to things.
That's the thing, getting used to you, us, all of that. And I love. It's been so fun watching us kind of find that groove.
Right.
Because it takes a minute, no matter who it is. Yeah. Whether it's me, somebody else, you, somebody else. It doesn't matter. It takes a second to get there, and it's been so fun getting there with you so far. So. Here's to many, many more. We're so glad that you're here, and we're glad that you're settling in, and. We hope that you are enjoying it as much as we're enjoying you. So,
well, thank you, Cody. I am. It's a blessing.
Well, thank you so much for sitting down with me and chatting a little bit. Hopefully, you guys listening to this get to know April a little bit better from some of these stories and maybe look at things just a little bit differently and get to know us a little bit differently as well. So one of my favorite things is doing this podcast because it peels back those onions a little bit and lets us kind of dive into what people don't get to see. And I think that's fun.
Do you sing on here?
Not as much as I would like. I still got this voice thing going on.
It doesn't matter.
Maybe I should do an intro. Behind the eight.
Why?
We hope you aren't late. And if you are, you're great. Behind the eight. I don't know, something like that. Thank you guys so much for listening. We hope you have a wonderful rest of whatever you're doing. And we look forward to you here next time on Behind the Eight.
From the All Indiana Podcast Network. This is Behind the Eight Podcast. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe to this podcast wherever you get your podcasts. And connect for even more on Facebook and at wishtv.com.